news coming out of Tampa today. Dan Graziano, what should we know?
Left tackle Tristan Wirfs likely to miss the start of the season from the sounds of things. Had arthroscopic knee surgery earlier this week. He's been dealing with a knee issue since last season, was able to play through it, but this offseason it didn't really respond to rest the way that they hoped it would, so he's going to get it fixed. Likely to have to start the season on the physically unable to perform list, which would mean he would have to miss at least the first 4 games of the season. No small thing. Buccaneers open at Atlanta. The Falcons beat them twice last year. At Houston on Monday night. Home to the Jets and home to the Super Bowl champion Eagles. Could be a rough time to be without their starting left tackle.
Yeah, Roz, just the other day I was saying maybe we're not talking enough about the Bucs and how great they could be. This may change that
and now here we are.
Bit. I know, right? Tristan Wirfs had a pass block win rate of 95.9% last season, the highest among all tackles. With the help of Wirfs, Baker Mayfield was pressured on just 23% of dropbacks last season, the second lowest rate among qualified quarterbacks last season. Wirfs, one of 4 offensive linemen to be selected to the Pro Bowl in each of the last 4 seasons, along with guards Joel Bitonio, Deion Dawkins, and Quentin Nelson. Good company there. We welcome you to NFL Live. You just saw Graz, Damian Woody, Booger McFarland here as well. Lots to get to with you guys. D. Wood, let's start with you. How big a deal is this for the Bucs in your mind?
Laura, it's a pretty big deal. I mean, you're talking about arguably the best left tackle in the game. This was the guy in Tristan Wirfs last year that didn't give up a sack. He only gave up 1 pressure all of last season. So, if you're Baker Mayfield, that's the type of protection that you're going to be without for the first 4 games, and that's not even including time to get acclimated and get in the game shape. So this is a big blow for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now they signed Charlie Heck as a swing tackle from the San Francisco 49ers, but make no mistake about it, he's no Tristan Wirfs. So this is a big blow for the Bucs.
As a coach, you try to minimize the question marks that you go into the season with. And I think the Bucs have a top 5 offensive line with Tristan Wirfs. So there was no question mark at the offensive line position. Now, Tristan Wirfs most likely going to miss the first 4 games of the season. There is a question mark. So it's just another hurdle that the Bucs have to jump over. Liam Cohen, the offensive coordinator, he's now the head coach with the Jacksonville Jaguars, so they're going to have a new play caller. Now you got a new left tackle. The consistency that you want to have around Baker Mayfield is just not there right now. I know Todd Bowles and Jason Light both signed contract extensions, both very well earned. They got their work cut out for them now as they try to mesh these new pieces, new play caller, new left tackle, but they got to keep their quarterback comfortable, and missing Tristan Wirfs is not going to make that an easy job, Laura.
Yeah, Booger, absolutely right. I mean, the consistency around Baker Mayfield the last couple of years has been critical. Now, they did change offensive coordinators last year, and that didn't seem to bother him. But when you talk about personnel, the wide receiver group, they have Chris Godwin coming back from injury to an already strong group. So I think they would tell you that it's better that it happened now than right before the season, because they can get him a little more time to recover and they can figure out what to do. Whether that means Charlie Heck, whether that means someone else, whether that means they have to scheme around it to improve the protection a little bit. They can work all of that out in training camp, which is a little bit of a silver lining. Obviously, nothing good about losing your starting left tackle at any point in the year.
And just to take the fans kind of behind the scenes a little bit, usually when the season is over, you go meet with the head trainer and you guys make a decision. Hey, are we going to rest it or are we going to go ahead and go into the knife and get this thing done? It sounds like they tried to rest it and see if it will respond, and he kind of aggravated it during the offseason, and now here we are. Training camp's open next week for some teams, and now maybe the best left tackle in football is out. It just goes to show you that there is a process that you have to go through during the offseason, and the Bucs sounds like they may have made a mistake as far as when and if to do this surgery on Tristan Wirfs.
Yeah, it's a good point, Boog. I mean, had they done it at the end of the season, we'd be in a totally different situation here. So glad you brought that up. All right, more news surrounding the big fellas on the other side of the ball. Graz, what's the latest on some pass rusher contract disputes? Let's start with Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah, Trey Hendrickson and the Bengals still at an impasse regarding a contract extension. He has publicly said he does not intend to play on his current contract. The Bengals have offered him a short-term extension. He would like a longer-term extension with more guaranteed money in future years. He's 30 years old. The Bengals are hesitant to do that. We'll see if this picks up again as we get closer to camp. Obviously, the Bengals would like to have him there and working. Same with the Steelers and T.J. Watt, another 30-year-old edge rusher who wants a contract extension and doesn't have one. He has not been public about any displeasure, but he did skip mandatory minicamp and that's obviously a sign that things aren't all okay. When he signed his last contract extension 4 years ago, it took all the way up until September 9th. So if you're expecting a quick resolution here, you may be disappointed. And then Micah Parsons with the Cowboys, likely to come in ahead of everybody and probably be the highest paid non-quarterback in the league when his extension finally gets done. Things seem to be in a pretty good place there. He was at their mandatory minicamp and had participated in parts of their voluntary offseason program. So no reason to think that this won't get done, and no reason to think that he would hold out of any part of training camp, considering he's already been to stuff he didn't even have to go to, and he doesn't have the deal done yet. But watch for Parsons to come in ahead of everybody in the league who isn't a quarterback.
Yeah, no doubt that's resetting the market. That training camp for the Cowboys in Oxnard starts in 12 days. Now, a new article out on ESPN.com this morning. Jeremy Fowler polled NFL executives, scouts, and coaches in order to rank the top 10 players at each position. So today we're going to look at the league's top edge rushers. Pertinent based on some of the guys we were just talking about. The AFC North has the top 2 on the list, with Myles Garrett ranking first for the second straight year, followed by TJ Watt. The Texans, the only team to have 2 players in the top 10, Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter. And then Micah Parsons, Max Crosby, and Nick Bosa find themselves in the top 5 again. Patrick Mahomes had some high praise regarding division rival Crosby earlier this week.
He's the best. I mean, I think he sacked me the most out of anyone I've ever played against.
Oh,
so,
really?
I mean, to me, he's the best pass rusher that I've played against. And so, no offense to any other pass rusher, just putting it out there. But he is the best one that I've went up against, because he goes out there and he gives you the effort, he has the moves, and he has the skill. And I think that's hard to have all 3 of those and do that a year in and year out.
The other thing Mahomes has said sometimes when we've met with him before games is that Crosby is one of the biggest trash talkers, too. So that may have been a little reason why he picked him there. Okay, Boog, it sounds like Mahomes disagreed a little bit with that list that you just saw. How about you? What do you think about it?
Yeah, I disagree with it. And let me preface by saying this. When you're choosing from the top 4 or 5 pass rushers in football, it's kind of like choosing how do you want your filet. Some people like theirs rare. Some people like it medium well. I need mine well done. Judge me if you want to. That's on you, not on me. As far as the pass rush is concerned, to me, it's got to be Max Crosby. I think when you look at the skill, you look at the effort, you look at the technique, you look at the moves, nobody does it better. Yes, TJ Watt looks differently. Yes, Myles Garrett is more of a power guy. Micah Parsons may have a little bit more athleticism, but when you combine everything together, for me, Max Crosby is the best pure pass rusher in football, and there's no way, I mean no other way to eat a filet than well done.
Hey, really fast, Boog, I'm going to have you come over. All right, I'm going to sear your filet really nice, a nice little pepper crust on it. I'll do it medium well for you, even though that's like a little bit off what I would normally do, because it should be medium rare. But you're going to change your mind, okay? You must just had some bad steaks in the past. You're wrong about well done.
Not changing my mind, Laura. I promise you I'm not changing my mind.
D-Wood, go ahead.
Boog, you might as well be burning the steak at this point. I mean, well done. Come on, bro. We got to work on that. But here's what I'm going to say, man. I think the reason that Mahomes has so much admiration for Max Crosby is where he's rushing from. Think about it. Boog knows this. He's rushing up on the defensive left. He's going up against the right tackle, meaning he's rushing right in Mahomes' face, and he still is able to cause havoc on a guy like Patrick Mahomes. But Boog is right. He's so versatile. He's a guy he's a movable chess piece. He has a variety of moves, and he's absolutely relentless as a rusher. And so, listen, any way you want to put the top 4, top 5, you can do it. It's all about your flavor, but Max Crosby definitely be giving Patrick Mahomes hell every time he plays against him.
Right, which is twice a year, which is one of the reasons I'm sure he's in the front of Patrick's mind when he gets a question like that. So, yeah, look, you look at Max Crosby, you're looking at Mr. Raider at this point. He's done contract extensions that have been kind of, somewhat helpful to the team in terms of their structure. He has survived multiple overhauls of the front office,